Ain't gonna happen.
All right, we're live, boys. Hey, thank y'all for being patient. We're about 7 minutes behind, which means we're about 20 minutes ahead of schedule, right, Ryan?
Yes.
Hey, welcome back to the deal. My co-host Ryan is back with us this week, and we've got AJ Mcwhorter with us to talk Hobie BOS 2020 stuff. I hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving. Let a few people jump on here since we're late. I'll try to get this shared around. If you're just jumping on, help us out and share it around. But AJ, thanks for taking the time, man. I know you've been on the road all day. Excited to talk about this stuff.
No doubt. We were excited. Spent a good portion of the Thanksgiving week and weekend really finalizing some of the details, locking down some stuff. And as soon as we were ready, we wanted to get it out to you all.
And as always, we're appreciative of exclusive rights to drop the info tonight. So,
man, no, I appreciate you guys. Y'all have been so helpful for us, allowing us to, share the events on your platform, promoting the anglers, talking about the events, just giving exposure to the sport. I really appreciate you guys and what you guys do out there to help get more eyes on the sport in so many different ways.
That's what we're here for, man. Keep it going in the right direction, hopefully.
We're growing the sport. Isn't that the catchphrase?
That's right.
It's swimming in the cesspool, baby.
It's still in its infancy. So we're in the kiddie pool, I guess.
We're filling the pool. We'll use that instead of growing the sport. Well, it looks like we got 30-something people on here now, so they're getting caught up to our lateness. So appreciate y'all. Steve Owens jumped on and said he loves us all with all his heart. Steve,
and it ain't the yellow bellies talking. Don't leave that part out.
But yeah, let's jump into it, AJ. I mean, everybody's was blown away by how you guys finished things up with the TOC and what went down there, and a lot of the post-event videos got out and people got to see that. Ryan, was there on site. I was there for the shootout, and you guys put on quite a show, and it looks like it's going to be even bigger and better 2020. So.
Yeah, before we jump out of 2019, just a big thank you to all the anglers that took a chance on us in our first year. We really wanted to provide some unique things and some great opportunities for the kayak anglers, just something else. And, I know that vacation time is a little hard to come by and dollars can be tough sometimes, but, people showed out. I mean, our first year we had average like 82 or 83 anglers in our 6 opens that, stretched out all across the country. And we tried the little satellite events, and, in some places they were perfect, in other places they didn't quite fit. And, through the whole process, we qualified some amazing anglers all over the country and really found a format that works for what we're trying to do. And that's to provide a premier experience for everybody that shows up to one of our events. And, we've grown it to 9 open events this year, and we've got some cool, formats changes and some additions that hopefully is going to be appreciated by the anglers and increase participation and all those things that we're trying to do to help provide a really awesome platform for competitive kayak anglers.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are pumped about hearing about some of these changes, and the schedule's been out for a little bit now. I know we're still all waiting on that TOC drop, the new location to come out, but the schedule looks good. People are excited about it. I mean, February can't get here fast enough for a lot of folks.
Well, so the first event is like less than 2 months away. Seminole is like right around the corner. And our goal is to have registration up for at least the first 3 events on Friday or Saturday of this weekend. So registration will start. No membership fees for 2020. You pay your entry fee and you're in. You're good to go. Now, I will tell you all, I'm gonna drop it here first. No graphics, nothing with this. But for 2020, our host tournament app will be TourneyX.
Whoa! Hey, look out! Look out!
And Michael Christopher with iAngler, that app and that guy is so instrumental to catch, photo, release fishing in so many different capacities. He does so many charity tournaments. He's helped so many grassroots clubs. He's a friend of mine. He's a great guy. And he's really helped the Hobie Bass Open and the Hobie Bass Open series get to where it is right now. And nothing but thanks to that guy. He's an awesome guy, and really happy to have him and his option in our sport for what we're trying to do for the conservation of the fish and keeping track of that data. But for 2020, Tourney X continues to improve every single year, and it seems to be the place where anglers feel the most comfortable and can have the most consistency on in that moment. And that's what we want to provide in that best experience. And looking forward to showcasing that platform and our series through Dwayne, Wally, and the Tourney X platform this year.
It's awesome. That's a good move for sure.
Strong move, and the comments are flying in after you said that. Everybody seems to be pumped up.
Yeah, we have a little panel of anglers and directors, and they kind of had a chance to look over some of this stuff over the last 24 hours to see anything, but I didn't quite put that in that. So I think for a lot of people that's a surprise because we've been with anglers so long, and like I said, great stuff over there. Really appreciative of those guys, but I think it's a move that we needed to make to help grow in 2020.
Was that some of the Tourney X, the new features and the live leaderboard and all that? Did that play a factor? Are you guys going to try to integrate some of that?
Yeah, I actually pretty much have taken a year off from Tourney X. It was something that I spent a lot of time judging during my time during the Bluegrass Kayak Anglers, and really familiar with that site. But you take a year off from judging, and things are different. Dwayne's got it stepped up. He does a lot of things on the front for the viewers and the anglers, but then he also does a lot behind the scenes for the directors. So I'm looking forward to seeing the improvements that he's got on that side, and showcasing our anglers' fish a little better, a little more transparency there. And the live leaderboard's awesome. And if you followed any of our events, like we really want to showcase the anglers that are up top the leaderboard, that are submitting fish. So it's definitely something that we're going to utilize in every capacity to make sure that the people that want to keep up with our sport and watch some of our most premier events on some amazing fisheries get a chance to watch it in every way possible.
And I mean, that was some of the big feedback, after the TOC when we were talking about, what Hobie's done and how much they've grown. And then when you drop the new schedule, the point is that you're listening to the anglers, you're listening to the customers, if you will. And that was one of the things people said. And I mean, that was kind of my comment, to a couple guys, like, they've listened to everything else. What makes you think they haven't heard this part too? And I mean, now you dropped it tonight. So, I mean, that speaks volumes. Like you're kind of giving the people what they asked for. That's huge.
I try to. I mean, it's tough because you're never going to make everybody happy. You're never going to go to events close enough to everyone. You're never going to have enough. The price isn't going to be perfect. There's so many variables, but you want to try to put it all together and provide at least something, that everybody that will be able to participate is going to enjoy. And that was one of the areas that I felt, based on angler feedback, that we definitely could provide a better experience, and not just for some of the anglers, some of the people that were spectators of our sport, whether they're watching a family member or friends. I'm listening to feedback from all different sides, because that's really important. We're trying to get this thing out there in front of more people and create a fan base. And a lot of people have been working hard to have a fan base, and we got to do our job to promote the angler to the people that are out there watching, whether it's friends, family, potential sponsors, potential people that are going to get into the sport. So that means a lot to us, and something that we're going to continue to improve on.
Well, that's huge, man. And like I said, a lot of people are chiming in here talking about how good it's going to be for the fans and people at home watching, stuff like that like to follow along. Like you, I got nothing but kind words for Michael Christopher and Eigler. I think that it's a fine system, but for where you guys are going and the growth you're experiencing, I think the Tourney X move is solid and needed. So
yeah, thanks.
So jumping on to some of the new release info, I've got some graphics that we kind of slid in here at the end of the day. We're going to try to get them up real quick. First one I'm going to throw up, see if this goes okay here. Oops. There it is. Entry fees and payouts. AJ, you want to touch a little bit on some of the changes to the entry fees for the opens and the shootout, and as well as
Yeah,
the TOC?
yeah, I'll dive right into the open. So in 2019, it was 205, and this year it's going up to 235. So the way that $30 breaks out is we are adding an extra $3 from the 35 that we added last year for $38 of the entry fee going into the TOC pot. So not a huge increase, but definitely going to help out at the end of the year. Now this year, last year we were doing $5 for iAngler. This year we've included the PayPal fees. Something that we looked at the end of the year is how much money we use to cover PayPal fees, and we wanted to reinvest that money into other places, going back to the anglers. So I think a little bit later when we start talking about Angler of the Year prizes and structure there, you'll see some of those dollars going back out. But that $12 covers all of the PayPal fees and all of the Tourney X fees. And so what that also does is it is an extra $20 per event getting paid out. So we go from $165 to $185. So while it's an increase in $30, 20 of it goes to paying out that event. So we have higher payouts this year per the number of tournament entrants. But then we also took an extra $3 to the TOC payout, so that's going to improve that pot as well. And then the balance of that $12, which essentially is just a $7 increase from the administrative cost last year, is going into the PayPal aspect of that what we do here. So that's kind of the way it's laid out for the opens. And then right over, and just so everybody knows, Jeff's going to be referencing and showing up these pictures, and what we're going to be dropping tomorrow. It's going to be visible for everybody, including our 2020 rules, is the Hobie Bass Open Series 2020 handbook. It's like 14, 15 pages. Kevin Nakata, my right-hand man, has been working hard out there in Cali last 2 days, getting this stuff dialed in. It's incredibly well done, and we're looking forward to sharing that with you guys. But on that, we go right into our payouts. Last year we were optimistic. We really wanted to see, 120. But this year, I think our number that we're going to see a lot more of is that over 100. So when we started our pay scale, we started with 100 that's going to be published that you guys are going to see. So that's 10 anglers getting paid out. First is going to be getting $6,000, and then second's 3,100. Third is 1,700. Fourth is 1,450. Fifth is $1,250. I mean, going all the way down. I mean, the top 8 are all over $1,000, and 10th place goes home with $900.
That's awesome.
So that's definitely something that we wanted to even improve on. What we did last year is making sure that more money was going out to the anglers. I'd love to see one hit 150. We're not playing around at 150 either. First place is taking home $8,000. And if we mess around and hit 200 one time this year, I know a couple of these regional guys have been talking smack, saying, "Man, we're gonna max this thing out." Well, if you do that, someone's going home with $10,000, and we're gonna be paying out a chunk. So, it's all about angler participation as far as our payouts go, and you guys show out, and the checks represent that.
I got a backyard where the big tournaments happen at if y'all want to swing on up here.
Where's that? Backyard?
Gunnersville, you want to come on down here?
Man, we would love to come back to Gunnersville. They were
trying to hit 200. Come on.
Hey, we tried, man. We tried. We were a couple kayaks short. But Gunnersville was an awesome host, and they're fully invested into the kayak community last year and next year. And sometimes when a community goes all in, they just don't have the resources for the next year. And so those are amazing people right there. I can't wait to get back down there in early April. And, it's an awesome fishery, and they love tournaments, and they treat the anglers right. And we'll look forward to seeing them again.
Chad Foster threw in there that he said Erie 200. He's calling the shot.
Hey, Chad Foster's let me know that a couple times, and man, I would love to see 200 anglers show out for that event. That's going to be something special. There's going to be a lot of brown fish turned in and some big ones. That's going to truly be something special. There's a lot of these events that I wish I was out there with you all But that event in particular, man, smallmouth in the spring, bedding fish, good night. I'm gonna be having trouble judging all those fish on that one for sure.
Where is Lake Erie? That's not in the south, is it?
No. It's up. You go to Ohio and turn right, and then it's about halfway up on your left.
Ryan, why don't you go up there in January and pre-fish?
All right, I'm down. Do I need to take a drill with me or what?
Yeah, a barge and a drill.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about to be ice season for some folks.
So AJ, next thing I'm going to go ahead, buddy.
Well, in the South, we call ice season A-rig season.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's about to be A-rig season. That's what's going to happen.
So we'll jump down to the shootout real quick, if you don't mind. You want to keep it at entry fee. So,
yeah, go ahead.
We raised the price up of the shootout a little bit this year, $150, but we're still paying out $100 per entry at that event. We're going to keep that consistent $38 going into the TOC pot. And, you've got your administrative fees. And then the championship's going up $100 this year, too. So from $300 to $312. So just in entry fees alone from those 50 anglers, you're looking at $15,000. We've got some great sponsor dollars going into that pot this year as well. And then, the anglers, y'all can do the math, 1,000 entries over the course of the year, which is just 100 people per event. That's $38,000 right there. So we're trying to hit some special numbers in year 2, and we're looking forward to getting there with you guys.
Hey AJ, let me ask you, what was the reaction to at the end of the year, looking back? How did the sponsors feel about how everything went for you?
I think the sponsors were really happy. Obviously, there's ways that we can improve. We're looking forward to doing more, live videos and some stuff throughout the day. We're already working on trying to get some sponsor little segments that we can throw into those and share on our page. But quite a few of our sponsors, they're happy. They sent more than we asked them for. And created an awesome prize package for our champions at the TOC. 50 anglers went home with a bag that was probably worth $300-400. And it was great. And that just kind of those sponsors we'd already been through them all year. They've been supporting the event all year, and we just threw that out at the end, and they showed out. And a lot of those sponsors are invested for more in 2020. We've got some new sponsors that we're going to be dropping here soon, but we've got a great supporting cast of people out there that believe in what we're doing. They want to invest in it. They want to see it grow, and we couldn't do what we're doing without their support. So the sponsors have been huge, and for everybody that participates in an event, gets a prize, gets something like that. You've heard it before, but say thank you. Let that company know. And if you get something and you like it, let people know. Buy it again. It's that's what it's all about. They want to get their product to the people that could like it, and they're using our platform to showcase it. And we really appreciate their efforts, and I know you guys do too.
And your platform has such a positive connotation. When you talk to anybody after they've left a Hobie event, there's not a question, how it was ran, what the experience was, because you make it so angler focused. Even like you're saying, the updates throughout the day, you're putting the spotlight back on the anglers. Like the weigh-in, the captain's meeting, it's all angler focused. And I think you guys stayed on that road, then your sponsors are going to continue to grow because they're going to have that positive light shed on them and the product.
Yeah, I agree absolutely, and that's something we want to improve on. Moving into year 2, we look back and you all will tell us if we're doing something wrong. Somebody will let us know. Those screenshots live forever, but it's hard to be a harder critic in this whole thing than I am on myself. I have really high expectations for this series, and I have really high expectations for the sport, and I've been given an incredible opportunity to lay some things out there for our anglers to grow within the sport. And I'm really hard on myself. I really want this thing to be as successful as possible, because this platform can take anglers to amazing places. We've seen it already with the Hobie Bass Open on Kentucky Lake. That was just one event a year. Now we're putting a whole series out there, going all over the country. We got an amazing championship, and it's just really exciting to see where this thing's going to roll out to.
And the Hobie World's qualifying spots. I mean, that's a huge goal on anybody's list to qualify for that.
Yeah. That it's funny because the Bass Open Series has turned into this very high level, competitive, solid return on investment, cash payout, some great financial incentives there. But this cherry at the end of this thing is world spots, and the Worlds event is a completely different feel. The competitive levels of the highest level that you've ever experienced, but the camaraderie and just the fellowship at that event is something really unique. And there's not any cash payout on that event, but it's just such an awesome opportunity for somebody to qualify, represent their country, and get to be a part of that. So we're really happy to provide some anglers that. Now, something that isn't, that's going to change a little bit this year. We'll touch base on a little bit with that through tonight's live, but because we added so many events, the winner of every event is not going to qualify for the Hobie Fishing Worlds anymore. We've got a smaller number that we've been allotted this year, similar to last year's number, but we had to find incentives. So we'll share some of those qualifying spot opportunities with you a little bit later. But just know going in that not every open event, or right now any open event, has a qualifying spot associated with it. But we're looking to have a couple in there. So we'll announce those at a little bit later date.
Scott Ehrlich just asked, are we using Tourney X now? Are you using? Yes, we are. Over. Isn't that the guy that says that every time?
Over, yeah.
Thanks, Scott. I'm surprised that Scott didn't ask if we were going to have motors, but I'll just go ahead and let somebody know. Hopefully we don't hurt our attendance of this live feed, but for 2020 we are maintaining pedal and paddle only for competition days.
Pre-fishing is still good though, right?
Yeah, pre-fishing is still good. Now we did make one little change for the practice period, so those of you that like to use the practice period doesn't start on Saturday, it starts on Monday now. So the weekend prior to the event does allow you to fish other vessels if you would like to. But Monday before the event is when, you have to be using a kayak within our rules to prepare for the tournament. And we did that. I've got a really good communication line with the guys that are running some things behind the scenes for bass, and the Monday is their start of the practice day, and I think it just helps to have some uniformity and people working together to help create less confusion in the sport. And if everybody knows they got to leave the John boat or the Ranger at the house come Monday, then that makes it easier on me as a tournament director and the anglers to know what's up.
Yeah, and it's also probably easier to police. Anytime you make something easier to police, it's easier on the TDs themselves. So.
Yeah.
Did you already touch on the TOC payout, or did we get there yet?
We don't have the we didn't touch on the TOC payout. The TOC payout is angler driven. So I mean, we've already got $15,000 in entries from the 50 anglers, and then if you do 100 anglers, that's $38,000 added to that. So carry the one, you get a nice little number there, and then. We've obviously got some sponsor dollars that we're going to add to that this year. So, we'll have some more information. We're going to have a TOC release here in the next couple weeks. So we look forward to having a pay scale published if we hit a certain number of tournament entrants. So that way anglers can know. And we're going to, blast that out all year. So when Seminole rolls down and we're, got 120 or 130 out there in February, catching giants, we're going to know how much money's already in the TOC. A few weeks later when we're at Lake Fork doing the same thing. Now I've heard a lot of people saying Lake Fork's going to blow up this year. There's some communities out in Colorado and New Mexico that said they're bringing the club, they're bringing everybody. So I know the Arkansas guys show out. And I've had a lot of Texas guys message me and tell me that they're looking forward to they just don't want to miss it this year. They missed it last year, and so we're coming early. We're bringing in Lake Fork for some huge bass. So we could be sitting with some serious dollars already invested into the TOC, and it's still February. So
I heard those Tennessee boys are going to come over. Lambert and Marshall and some of them may make the trip, huh?
Who's Marshall?
Yeah.
That's baby brother. If we make that trip, we're gonna need a big cooler. I'll say that, and somebody to drive.
All right.
Now I'd like to get out there. Clifton Allen, KBN's newest member, he put out the invite earlier this afternoon. He's trying to drum up some business for Fork. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Clifton Allen.
Clifton said there's 515 cabins.
Yeah, he's in the comments. Everybody, welcome Clifton back to the group page. He's back in there, solid.
It's going to be a good few days, folks.
So AJ, next slide I got keyed up here is the Angler of the Year breakdown, which is a new thing, and it's a pretty awesome setup. So I'm gonna pull that up real quick and let you kind of touch on that.
All right. So y'all heard the hint when we were sitting at that nice little establishment in Gunnersville a few months ago. Excuse me, and I said 3 events. Well, AOI is the culmination of 4 events. It is 3 opens and the Tournament of Champions. So the biggest thing that, obviously anybody that's competing for the Angler of the Year at that point is going to be at that event, but with our new structure. And so I wanted everybody that's fishing AOI to compete against each other. I think that really separates, some things out there where, you might have some regional opportunities, but, certain people just didn't compete against other people all year. Well, if you want to win Angler of the Year in this event, in this series, you're going to have to beat everybody that's coming for you on the same body of water, the same weekend, in the same conditions. And that's what's up right there. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be really difficult. And that's why somebody's going to go away with some awesome prizes and some cash. So y'all are looking at it right now at the bottom. First place is going to go home with $5,000 cash. A rigged custom Hobie Pro Angler 14360. That will be worth well over $5,000. And a Hobie Fishing, it does go sideways, and a Hobie Fishing World's invitation. So first place is going to be huge. That's where it's that's what's up. I mean, the Worlds that spot is the culmination of a season. I mean, I'm talking 4 solid finishes against some amazing competition. If you've invested that time and effort into this series and you've had good enough, performances to win that, you're going home with an awesome prize package and some cash. Second place is $3,000 cash. We'll have a prize package with that as well through some of our sponsors, and then Hobie Fishing World's invitation for that. And then third place is $2,000 cash, prize package, and another Hobie Fishing World's invite. So the top 3 AOI have an opportunity to win a chance to represent their country and go home with some cash and some great prizes.
Wow. What a setup! Let me ask you. I threw that graphic back up there. Did you guys put those vice grip toes of Christine center of the picture on purpose, or what was the?
Oh man, no. I'm sure she wished that picture would just go away. But I don't think that was on purpose. But it's amazing how just visible they are in that picture now that we're all looking at them, which is a little creepy.
She's probably gonna stab me. She's probably gonna stab me in the throat for that one next time I see
her.
AJ's gonna have toe marks around his neck.
That's why I'm wearing this hoodie already.
Domestic violence is real.
She's
in the comments throwing the hate at me. I'm sorry.
Oh no! Big shout out, man! It's a day after her birthday. She's a happy birthday to Christine. We play this director angler thing all the time. It's really difficult, but she's an amazing angler. It's been awesome to watch her have success this year. And happy birthday to her. Even though I don't get to act like it because I'm running these events, I'm a huge fan of what she's doing and just really appreciate what she's doing out there as an angler as well. So big shout out.
And the way you guys pull that off, it's the ultimate in professionalism. So we appreciate y'all.
Yeah, we act like we don't know each other for a straight week. It's a little awkward, little hard, but that's the only way that we can make it work. And appreciate everybody for understanding how difficult of a situation that is and how important working through that for both of it is.
She said you ain't gonna get out of that hole you just dug.
Oof. Yikes. That's on me. My bad.
Man.
All right. I'm gonna throw this graphic up again. This is the prize You talked about the Custom Pro Angler for the AOY, but what about that other kayak over there on the left of this graphic that you're going to be giving away?
So I'm not seeing that graphic. So you got that graphic of that custom color Hobie up right now?
Yeah, it's coming. It's a little delayed on the live stream, but it's up for me.
Yeah. So I mean, y'all have seen our graphics. We got this orange and black theme going on, and we make kayaks that have orange and black in it. It's kind of crazy. So we decided to put them together and only make 2 of them. One is that custom Hobie PA14 that's going to go out to our top AOY, but the other one is an Outback in that same color, orange and black blend. I don't know. We'll call it Boss Camo, and we're going to give that away just to a random participant. So you can earn a chance to win that kayak just by signing up and fishing one of our events. You can earn up to 10 chances. So every event that you come to, you earn a chance to win that kayak. And we'll draw for that kayak at the Tournament of Champions, and we'll figure out the logistics of how we have to get it to you. If you're there, we'll make that easy. If you're not there, we know how to get kayaks all around the country, and we'll figure that out. But that's an anybody thing. Another value well over $3,000, an awesome fishing platform to complement what you already have or to upgrade from what you have. So, just a way of us to kind of give back to the people that are investing in us with a really, really awesome, unique, one-of-a-kind color blend in an awesome fishing platform.
That looks like it has Eric Siddiqui written all over it. I mean, it's Bingle's colors, but it's orange and black you could actually be proud of.
And then, I mean, Eric could use a little love to the kayak, man.
I know he's got to get the duct tape and the JB Weld off that one.
But I mean, there it is. There's 2 opportunities. Eric invests the time in fishing with us, and everybody knows he's going to be in the hunt at the end of the season. So, there's going to be a lot of anglers gunning for that thing. I think that might be one of the hardest boats to win, to get all year. There's only going to be one. Only one person is going to go home with that thing, and it's going to be an incredibly awesome thing that we're really excited to offer to our anglers.
Christine said it comes stock with a 47-pound bag of plastics just for Siddiqui. At least 47 pounds.
That's a light day.
That's at the end of the season.
Guys, fire your questions out there. We've been sitting between 85 and 100 people on the stream all night. We appreciate y'all. If you're just getting on, hit share so that people in your local club can check out this info. But if you have any questions specific for AJ or what's going on in 2020, throw the comments in there for us.
Steve-O asked if you were going to have stickers that are easier to remove from the bump board. Steve, I don't think so. I think once you're in on the BOS, you're committed. You're locked in. It's kind of like a tattoo.
They do. I mean, it's funny. Some of them come off pretty quick. Some of them don't. We're definitely going to keep checking boards. I think that's a big part of what we do on Friday nights. Is important for our sport to make sure everybody is coming in with a good board. It's legit. It's not about to crack as soon as you throw a fish on it. Things like that that we're looking for. And something about that sticker. I mean, it really helps us make sure there's a constant at the end of that bump. We're all looking at that fish mouth to make sure it's closed, and having that contrast back there is extremely important to us to make sure that mouth is closed as it needs to be to get a full score.
And I know the handbook that you guys let us get a little sneak peek at, it's got all the rules in it. We don't want to go over all that, but are there any changes? I'm assuming it's still the same measuring boards that are going to be allowed this year compared to last.
Yeah. Just the catch and the hog trough. They're both great measuring devices, but it's all about angler maintenance. I've seen hog troughs that no one's blacking their lines. They're extremely dirty. They're cracked in 30 places, and I've seen catch boards that have never seen a washcloth. And let me just tell you, like, when there is fish slime all the way down that board, you don't see the numbers. You don't see the lines. So something anglers need to kind of focus in on 2020 is making sure that they have a clean board, or at least visible. It's just there's some out there. I'm not going to throw any names out there because
George is on here.
What's that?
Jordan's on here right now. He's
No, I'm not gonna. It's not Jordan. There's some other Tennessee anglers out there that just they just need to clean their board off and make Judge's life easier all across the different tournament entities, man. Because it is tough. I'm just saying.
Marshall asked where the TOC location was, and Christine said, "You don't need to worry. There's no roll downs this year." Dead. So, hey, boy got in on a prayer, but he took a check on him.
That's right.
Yeah. It's funny how things work out. Matthew Brandon would have loved to have been there. He earned that spot at Gunnersville, but there was only one angler all season that was next up in two different opportunities, and that was Jordan. And so it was kind of unique how it went to him because he finished one spot out in two events, was right there. And everybody knows he's a heck of an angler, and sometimes it comes down to a quarter of an inch. And when you're given an opportunity, you got to take advantage of it. We had an extra angler get to fish the shootout, and they did the same thing. So, it's anytime that there's an extra opportunity given, take what you're given and take advantage of it.
Hey,
so Clifton asked a question: how strict are you on lines being too thick? He's tired of seeing fish accepted on boards with 1/8 inch thick lines on hog troughs.
I've been judging fish for quite a while, and it's just you can see past a lot of times you can see where the actual bump is on a hog trough, and so I'm looking at that, and there's been people that have brought their board to board check, and I was like, man, this needs to be your backup board, and they buy a new board and they reline it, and I give them good advice, and some of these people, they're not trying to take advantage of the system. They just, the first time they were on their board, they didn't know what they were doing or why that made it difficult on anglers. Now, there's always people that are trying to do stuff, but that's why we want to check the boards. We have some verbiage in our rules, again, that asks, anglers to not, overly shade their little bumps there. And that's what we're looking for too. But it's amazing how well you can see a tail lie on that raised area on a hog trough. Especially, it's just got a different look to it. So, we're pretty strict on judging, and I don't think that's going to lighten up anytime soon.
Hey, you guys are thorough on the board checks. I know that when I was in line there at a couple of your events, you're having to peel stickers off people's bumps because they can get an extra 1/8 of an inch with the thickness of stickers on there.
Yeah, putting stickers on, it does, and so there's kind of a fine line between a couple stickers and 6, and then also if they're peeling off. So that's something that we're going to be kind of looking at a little more thorough this year. But we're just trying to make sure that no one's measuring device is giving them an advantage, and that's really the whole point of that. And it's just angler education on good practices and things like that. So we do that. It gives us a chance, Kevin and I, a chance to interact with our anglers through the registration process, and gives them a chance to kind of ask questions if they're uncomfortable about something or just not sure what our format is if it's their first time. So we really like that. We really like the networking aspect of our Friday night rules meeting. A lot of good stuff's come from that. It's a really good time. We feed the anglers and just really try to create a great experience before your first line's even been wet.
Hey, and a big shout out for feeding the folks at the shootout this last time around. A little bit of food. Even if it's just ham sandwiches, it's a huge deal to people that are getting ready to go out there. It's a nice touch that y'all had all season.
Well, thank you. Is little things go a long way, and there's we're going to try to do as good as we can to feed our championship anglers, but there's always going to be at least one meal at every event that we have, and then some events might have more. Based on the support and the deal that we've worked out with those communities. Some of these events, in format are all going to be the same, but you might notice some experience stuff that one event might have over the other. And that's just, some of these communities, it's their first time ever dealing with a kayak tournament, and they're not sure what it means. They're not sure what to do. They're not sure about any of it. And, for those anglers that are traveling around the country and chasing opportunities and doing this stuff, just remember that, like, wow, the kayak world to us is something that we're all familiar with and fully immersed into. A lot of these people don't understand our sport, and they don't understand what we're out here traveling to do. Don't ever miss a chance to share the sport and these things with other people, because there's never not an opportunity to educate somebody on what we're doing out there and help them, see a different perspective and why. Our catch, photo, release stuff, like, for conservation of fish, like, that is a phenomenal thing that we do, and I think it gets kind of lost because it's normalcy for us. It's regular, but for everybody else that bass fishes, they don't understand it. So take an opportunity to share that with somebody. Show them tourniquet, show them iAngler, show them what that looks like, show them how we do tournaments, and you never know where that might go down the road.
Let me talk to you about something that, Bassmaster, you guys were involved with them all year from a exposure standpoint. They were, throwing out post-tournament recaps and did a lot of the press releases for Hobie. Well, then now Bass Nation has come out with their own circuit. Did you guys work together before the schedule came out this year, or how'd that go?
Yeah, Bassmaster is we've been using Bassmaster as a media outlet for years. Pretty much every year for the Hobie Bass Open, and even the Hobie Fishing Worlds, when it was in Texas like 8 years ago, it was Bassmaster. It was on their site. They were covering the event. And that's media, and that's something that we invest into to give our anglers a platform for them to see. Now, as far as the bass goes, I think that's a little bit different group of people. Same emblem in the corner there, but the guys at Bass, they didn't tell me a lot. I didn't really know what was going on. There was a lot of reading between the lines because there's NDAs out there, but right. They reached out, and I really appreciate them respecting our organization and wanting to make sure that we didn't have regionally affected conflicts. And I know there's some conflicts out there, and it's tough. I understand that. I mean, there's so few weekends, and there's so many opportunities that you can get on certain lakes, but we really tried hard to make sure there were no regional conflicts, and we did that, and we had some that, if we hadn't communicated, could have been a little difficult for our anglers, and very difficult for some host communities that we were able to work through. And it's having the ability to have that communication with people in our sport that are wanting to grow this thing the right way, and really work hard behind the scenes to make sure there aren't conflicts. It says a lot about what they, what this sport means to them, and how they care about, how we're going to grow this thing moving forward.
Yeah, that's good to hear that it wasn't a leave you out in the cold kind of situation, that they reached out and tried to work with you guys and make it work, Trying to get back in some of these comments. Some guys throwing some Jareth throwing shade at people's beards. I've been growing mine for like 2 weeks.
Dang.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Well, Jareth lives in Nebraska, so you got to grow it all year just to get through the winter. Yeah. little face sweater.
So speaking, what's your opinion on the BASS deal yourself, AJ? I know everybody's kind of weighed in on it.
I'm so excited to fish these things, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get to 2, and I mean, 2 has me excited. I would like to get to more, but I'm going to, be doing some other things those particular weekends, like, running an event across the country. But man, like, Logan Martin's got me jacked up. I was stuck in traffic traveling from Galveston to Atlanta on Sunday, and we just happened to be stuck on the bridge on Logan Martin heading across Alabama. And, it didn't look that great, being drawn down, sitting on the road. You're not able to see much, and I think it was blowing 30 and white caps. But man, getting to participate in that type of event is going to be special. There's going to be a lot of great kayak anglers there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really interested to see what kind of carpet bass is going to roll out for the kayak anglers, because they know that we're hungry and that we want to see this thing. And I'm also going to get to fish Chickamauga. Any chance you get to get on Chickamauga is exciting. I don't care what tournament you're fishing or if it's just fun fishing. Like, knowing that you're fishing a lake where they catch 100 plus like official 10-pound plus fish a year is just special. Like any cast could be a PB, and then the next cast could also be your next PB. That's an awesome lake. May's going to be on fire. It's going to be fun. So I'm hoping that I can get qualified through those two. I love to get on stage, love to show out. But it's going to be tough. That one-day tournament, you got to strike quick, and hope that you're on a big limit. A lot of times we see things even out in 2-day tournaments. 1-day tournaments, you just got to catch 5. Like, you just got to get those 5 bites, and you don't have to worry about saving any fish. You just got to put them on that day. And I think those 2 lakes specifically are going to put up some big numbers. I'm looking forward to it.
I can see it.
In my opinion, I think the 1-day tournament format is a little harder, pre-planning. Like, you can swing for the fences, yes. But if you miss, then you're done. You don't have a day 2 that you can, you can't put up 5 real quick and then say, all right, I'm going to go out here and try to chunk up some 20s. Like, you got to make sure you have a pretty solid limit of fish on a 1-day. And I prefer the 2-day format because it's a little more of a mind game. Yeah. But a 1-day, you can really cut your legs off in a hurry.
No doubt. I think they're going to be great, man. I'm excited to see the Bass Nation state stuff develop a little bit more. I know that it's just getting started, and there's they're trying to get some more information out on that, and you're seeing some stuff pop up, and man, that's great. I mean, the grassroots of this thing is so important, and giving these anglers an opportunity at home or at their home state, home waters, close traveling distance to not just compete, but to compete for something bigger is just awesome, man. I'm really excited to see it grow. Having an entity like Bass want to do something for kayak anglers is man, it's just exciting to be a part of. I think that it's going to be a fun year for kayak anglers.
Let me tell you what, I can see it in AJ's eyes that he's fired up about getting to fish the tournaments.
I am, dude. I like to fish. Man. It's when I ran the club here in Kentucky, I do everything in the morning, the afternoon, and had some great helpers that judge fish all day. But I got to fish. I got to be one of the guys, and get out there on the water, which is my passion through all of this. But when the opportunity to run the Hobie Bass Open came up, and now the Hobie Bass Open Series, there's just no time for that, and there's no. I don't even hardly get on the water before the event, and very rarely after. So, I just have to live vicariously through all you all, and love hearing your guys' stories and your everything that involved with your trip, because it's definitely a work trip for me. So anytime I get to switch gears and get the pre-fish on and get out there and submit some fish, hopefully it's just fun for me, and that's what it's all about. I love it. I love fishing. I think I'm going to fish 4 tournaments this year. There's been some months in the past where I fished 4 tournaments in a month. So, but I think I've got it to 4 unless Steve-O throws me a little winter treat next year that I'm in town for. We were talking about that today, matter of fact. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to fish, get started on Logan Martin. Going to try my hand at the national championship. Then I'm going to be able to go to the Chickamauga event. So 2 bass events right there, and then I've been talking about it for years, but it's never worked out. I'm gonna try to make it up to the Border City Classic, fish with Rich Offner and those guys. I know they're excited to bring that event back. The opener for Canada, and Lake St. Clair is a phenomenal fishery. So I think I'm gonna try to go and fish that one. So there's my tournament schedule for next year. I couldn't be more excited for all 4 of those events. Just getting to fish is it's a rewarding thing these days.
Well, man, I hope you drop the hammer on them. I know everybody is well aware of how good of an angler you are, and you sitting out for the Hobie events to be the tournament director is much appreciated. Everybody and appreciates the job you're doing. If there was a KBN Sportsman of the Year, I bet you'd be right up there as to be in one of the guys that would get that or get nominated for it. So we appreciate you, brother.
Well, I appreciate you guys giving me credit. I haven't really earned that credit this year, so I know I'm not going to be making it back into the KBN Angler of the Year race.
I saw you on stage in Hot Springs. Don't throw that at me.
All right, yeah. But I'm just saying, when y'all start a tournament director rankings. I just hope I make the list.
And I think you probably accomplished more this year than anybody else has, and hats off to you for that.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if you got a fishing pole in your hand or not. What happened this year was huge. And you can see from BASS jumping in, I mean, it's starting to take notice. Like there's things outside of kayak fishing starting to happen, and that's what we all need, and that's what's going to move us forward. I think kind of with the platform you guys set forward and what BASS is stepping in to do, where it's a kind of a separate deal with the kayak tournaments. It's not some baby brother stuff, and they're really going to have a media team cover all this stuff. That's huge.
I thought Ryan was fixing to say game changer. We just lost
huge.
him.
Oh,
you're back.
We got you.
It's a game changer. No.
Yeah.
Seriously though, I mean it's awesome the way everything's moving in the right direction. That's what we needed. Appreciate it, man. It's looking really good. And I just saw on here Corey Dreyer, former Hobie pilot. Corey Dreyer is going to come fish some Hobie events. That's right. You heard it. You heard it here first.
Was that, man? That's exciting, man. It's good to see Corey. I know Corey has a very time-consuming job and a big family, and it's tough, but it's always good to see him around at these events. So I had to put one in his home state, so hopefully he'll be at that one. But be good to see him, man. It'd be good for him to see what these Hobie Series events are all about.
Yep, I'm looking forward to seeing him on the road.
Anybody else out there get any questions? We don't want to keep AJ all night. I know it's late out there east of the Mississippi, right?
One of the big things that it's not too late. I mean, 10:30, but the
remember how old I am, AJ?
What's it? Yeah. I forget, man. You act young like the rest of us, man. One of our big rule changes this year, rule additions, is we wanted, this is angler safety is our first priority, and fish conservation is second. And one of the things that we felt needed to be improved on in our format is the release of the fish. I mean, that's what we preach, that catch, photo, release. So before fishing, casting, anything can resume, the fish that you caught has to be released. So that is for the fish. That is for making sure that we are taking care of our resources. You see, pros. I mean, even whether it's MLF or away tournament, they've got to get that fish off the hook. They've got to put it in the box before they can go fishing again. So that's kind of what we're trying to do, is implement that right sequence of events to make sure that the fish is taken care of. It's not hanging out on the side of the boat for an hour. Whatever. That doesn't need to be happening in our sport. And that's something that we have added into our rules for 2020. It is catch, photo, release, and then you can get back to it.
No holding one on schooling fish or anything like that.
No more of that. But like if you're catching 2, 3, 4 at a time on an A-rig, you take care of your fish. But you're gonna, before you start fishing again, you're gonna get that fish taken care of and released, and then you'll be good to go once they're all back into the water.
Christine asked how many rules are inspired by individual anglers.
There are a few. There are some rules in there that have little nicknames.
Yeah.
Behind closed doors. She's not behind those. Yeah.
She needs to jump out from behind that door and just say that on camera. I want to see it.
She can't keep her toes off the keyboard tonight.
I thought we were safe. I knew it was past her bedtime. I figured she'd be out for the count.
So you don't have any kind of insight on where this TOC might be, do you, AJ?
I'm going to drop 2 hints tonight. I'm going to drop 2 hints, and we're going to have a release. 2 hints. It is not a state that is represented on our current schedule.
Okay, Alaska.
And that's one. But to narrow it down even more, it is a former host city of the Bassmaster Classic. So not only is it a state that's not represented on our current schedule, but it is like ultimate championship waters. And so we're excited to release that out. We got that finalized right before Thanksgiving. It was a very little big Thanksgiving Day gift to myself and all the people that were working on that. And we can't wait to share that with you all and get some more information about the culmination of what this season is all about. And where you guys will be competing for the championship and Angler of the Year for 2020.
I like it, man. Stacy Martin wants to know, is it warm water?
Well, it could be. I don't know. We'll see. That time of year, that's a cool thing about November. I mean, and pun intended, I guess, but like you never know what kind of weather you're going to get. Like it could literally be snowing, it could literally be 80, and that's going to completely change the pattern. And it's kind of an equalizer at the end of the year, because it's really hard to, like, if you're a local. I mean, we've all been locals on our home waters trying to figure out what the fish are doing in November, and it's like, man, what is going on? They're not on the winter pattern. They're not where they were last week. They're not, it's that weird fall transition, and depending on what happens, fishing wise or weather wise, the week before the event is going to completely change the weather. And the fishing, the fish were on top water at Ouachita the week before, and then it was a grind for the tournament.
The day before. They were on top water the day before.
Yeah, that rain and that cold front came through, and that can happen anytime. I mean, I've been down at the original Tournament of Champions down at Lake Fork, and it's like 28 degrees the launch for day one. And I'm trying to figure out if I have gloves in my truck and figuring out if I have any cold weather gear, because it was 80 all week, and I was in Texas feeling good. And so that's, anywhere we go in November, it could potentially have some weather drastically changing the fish. But I would love to see good weather and warm enough water for Stacy to be with us.
Stacy's gonna have to qualify first. That's what he really needs to worry
about.
Well,
we've given some more chances this year. So in case people aren't aware of that, I'll reiterate that again. So first, second, and third of non-qualified anglers in every open are going to earn their shot to be in the TOC, and then we're going to take the top 20 in our points, and that's going to be good for 47 anglers. And then we're going to take 2 at the shootout, which is going to be the day before. Now, and I'll touch on that too. So the shootout, to fish the shootout this year, you have to have participated in at least one BOS event in 2020. So that was some great angler feedback that I got, and they wanted to see that, kind of be implemented. And I agreed wholeheartedly. I felt like, with it just being a one-day shot, we wanted people that have invested some time into our series. And, that gives those people that shot and kind of narrows it down a little bit. But right now we've got 2 spots available. If somebody's a last-minute cancellation, that'll go to the shootout. If it's a week of, and we had at least one angler that canceled the week of this year, and so that was one more spot that we were able to give out, and that kind of ensures that we have our 50 anglers competing.
Got people guessing on locations. They're throwing Oklahoma out there, Grand Lake. I would say that's a 0 because of the rules on those lakes over there in Oklahoma, especially Grand Lake. That's
a good guess, though. I mean, there's going to be some good guesses out there. I'm sure some people are going to guess right, but we're not going to have anything released because, I didn't say, I said host city, so the waters might not necessarily be the same. So we're kind of working through all the details right now on all that. We can't wait to release that to you guys. Hope it's an early Christmas present that everybody can look forward to, and we'll get a little bit of a pay structure out there and some tournament boundaries and waters and all that stuff.
Hey, let me ask you this: can I try to squeeze one more hint out of you?
Man, let
me ask you: is the host city a place that you can maybe bring your family with to hang out while you're fishing this thing?
Yeah, I would say it would be. I mean, that's something we're always going to be looking to do, and that's something that we want to do more this year is kind of open it up to more people. So it's going to be something that we're going to try to have, some sponsor booths there, a little bit of a get together, a gathering, and we definitely love to see the family of the anglers come and be a part of it. And I'd say there's plenty to do in this city that would be exciting for anybody.
People still throwing out guesses. Jim trying to throw shade on Hot Springs, throwing it in there again.
David Cruz don't know where Texas is. I don't think he's wanting to get in on Sam Rayburn.
Now, people need to you gotta be careful, because some of us have just been following bass for like a minute, but like they've been running Bassmaster Classics for many years,
Right.
And some of those lakes back in the day might surprise some folks. So, we'll see. We'll get it out there.
My dad ran into Jimmy Houston on Nickajack. If that tells you anything, that was on purpose.
All right, you fellas got anything else? I don't see any more anything else coming from the crowd other than guesses on where the TOC is going to be.
Jim Clark and Corey Dreyer slapping back and forth at each other has been pretty entertaining.
Yeah, that's worth a read, AJ. After this, get back in the thing if you can't sleep and read some of that.
Oh, well, I appreciate it, AJ. Thank you for coming on, and again, thanks for everything y'all have done this year and what you're doing for the anglers. It looks great, and can't wait to get out and hit the road and try to qualify for the TOC again.
Man, yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys once again for giving us a platform to talk about this and get it out there in front of more anglers. And a big shout out to all the anglers that participated in year one, and then everybody that wants to get back in year two. And hopefully we see some new faces. We want to grow this thing. We want to see these numbers come up a little bit. As our numbers come up, our payouts go up, and then the TOC payout goes up as well. So we're looking at where anglers are traveling in from. We're looking at all that stuff and trying to figure out where we can go in 2021. Already building a schedule. Already got a confirmed couple locations for 2021. So we are building. We are trying to do this thing the right way, and continue to give you all that support us an amazing platform to compete at the highest level in kayak fishing.
Hey, real quick, Katie Baca said that hashtag fill the cesspool should be a thing at some of these events for charity. I don't know how would we do that. How would we would pull that off, but I don't know.
Side pot. Let's do a side pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, AJ. Hey, we appreciate you, man. And once again, thanks for taking the time and for what you guys are doing. And we'll be sitting tight, waiting on that TOC location. Real quick, I got two questions for you guys. Uh-oh. So, Ryan, what's the first boss event that you're going to show up to?
Seminole, baby. I'm ready to get off.
All right. Jeff, what about you, man?
I'm going to be on Fort. You know that.
All right. So I get to see you both in February. I'm looking forward to always a pleasure to see you guys, and can't wait to get this thing kicked off. It's going to be here before we know it. Registration for those first three events will be open by this weekend on Tourney X. Let's get in there. Let's fill these things up. Let's have a grand time this year. It's going to be a blast.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good. Take it easy. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right,
Thank y'all.